Hello students, this video on part 3 of nutrition in plants. Take a little more about symbiosis. It is the association between two or more species where one or both are mutually benefited. So here on the screen we can see a bee and a flower. So in this case, a symbiotic relationship between the bee and the flower, because the bee is obtaining the food from the flower. What about the flower? The flower is getting pollinated by this bee. So let us look at other symbiotic relationship. The first one is the buffalo and the crow. So what kind of relation exists here? I think both of them are getting benefited. So here the crow, which is standing on buffalo, we can say that. Now what are they doing? They eating tiny ants and insects present on the skin of buffalo. So these are also getting benefited because somebody is cleaning up its body. So that is, buffalo is benefited. So both crow and buffalo are benefited. Then human being and domesticated animals. So domesticated animals, they get food and all caring from humans. At the same time, they also do a lot of stuff for human beings. Okay, so if you look at this example, the lice are in the hair. In this condition, the lice eat blood from the head. Lice actually taking nutrition from our head. So is your head getting benefited anyway? Note. So in this case, only one of them are benefited. So this is an example of symbiosis. Now comes the example of fungi. Fungi, this is very popular symbiotic relationship of fungi and algae. Okay. The next one is the type of relationship that could be seen within the organism. So as we said, there could be various type of relationships are there. So most common is mutualism. So here we have different types of symbiosis relationships are there. The most common is mutualism. The plus and plus sign both are benefited, and under commensalism we have one species that is benefited and the other remains unaffected, that is 0. Then under parasitism, one species get benefited and other is harm, that is minus point. Then you have neutralism, that both organisms live together but they are neither benefited nor harm. Then amensalism, that means one species is harm and other remains neutral. Then under competition, both are adversely affected. So those are varying kind of relationship. Then mutualism. The next is mutualism is most common among this. A good example is rhizobium and the plant, and another good example is lichens. And then you have commensalism. As we said, one have benefited, other is unaffected. So example is orchids on the trees and birds on the buffaloes. Frogs use plants as protection, that all. So when orchids on the trees, orchid grow on the trees, they are benefited. However, tree remains unaffected. That is what is commensalism. Then now a very important thing, that is what is, you commonly hear the term manure and fertilizer. So what is the difference between manure and fertilizer? So manure is dead and decaying material of the various plants and animals that is found in a very thin top layer of the soil. Then however, fertilizer can be organic, it can be organic or inorganic. They could be produced naturally or in factory. They affect the fertility of the soil. Then so manure affect the top layer of the soil, that is humus. So the fertilizer affect the layer beyond the humus and increases the productivity of the soil. Then and manure is comparatively less rich in and slowly absorbed by plants. Then however, fertilizers are absorbed quickly by plants. The fertilizers are expensive as compared to the manure. Then the commonly used fertilizers are NPK. N means nitrogen, P means phosphorus and K means potassium. Then so these are the major nutrients for plant growth. What are they? Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Then one bacterium called rhizobium can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert into usable form. So in the atmosphere that contain complex form of nitrogen, so in this rhizobium bacteria can convert the complex nitrogen into usable form.